So I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how you can write an advertorial for your brand right now. This is just the process that I use with brands that I work with. You don't need any special prompts. You don't need any special AI or other tools. You just need to know how to prompt and doing the research. This is just my honest and raw thoughts while I go through this, and I didn't script anything. This is just how you can write easily. So obviously, first things first is you need an example advertorial that you find that is performing well. So you don't necessarily need this. This is kind of optional, but ideally you have a page that you can just model off of, right? If you know it's converting, you can just go to the biggest brands on Ad Library or Get Hooked, and you can find a page that, they're running a lot of ads to, that you can kind of just tell if it's working or not. You can check SimilarWeb to see website visits. So this is one that I found right here, and they're selling these magnesium supplements, okay? And they're running this to this product page. And we're just going to write for this product. Okay, I'm not affiliated with this. I never worked with this brand. First things first that I do is I like to copy the actual product page itself just to get information about the product. And we're going to feed it. So this is a product page. Study this product well and let me know your notes. So like I said, you don't need any special prompts or anything. You just need context, okay? And then you need to target, a specific angle and a specific avatar, okay? So this product is a sleep solution, not a general magnesium supplement. Target customer. Now we're going to use this layout just as an example, but let me know. Let's see. Let me know the specific avatar being targeted, their gender, awareness level. Dive deep on who is being targeted. So if you want the best possible advertorial, you're going to need to do a lot deeper research where you actually go in your ad library, you go in competitors, you see what's working well in the market and the kind of mechanisms that they're running. Right now, I'm just making a quick advertorial that is worth testing. So a woman 40 to 65, pre-menopausal or post-menopausal, every signal. What is this for? Is it for falling asleep? Staying asleep. So we can obviously write an advertorial for staying asleep, but let's write a different angle. So this advertorial is performing for this product. Let me know what this is targeting. So you want to just straight up copy the copy and then just have it model off of the winning page. So deep dive, the advertorial is in the advertorial. Let's think of potential angles we can target for this specific product. What the advertorial is better. Skeptical, exhausted, previously woman. Let's think of potential angles we can target for this specific product. So, you can have Claude do the research in here. Right, new advertorial for Facebook. Same avatar, new angle. Okay. And honestly, you can do research. I see some people, they do research on Gemini or Madness, and then they just feed it in here. Honestly, you don't need to do that. So doctor, the husband, the perimenopausal. So basically, if we're selling with this exact same angle and the exact same ICP, what we can do is just position this page in another sub angle, right? So we can still sell it towards women who are trying to stay asleep. This advertorial is more focused on big pharma lied to you, right? All these big corporations are lying to you, which is actually very common for advertorials. What we could do is with this same angle, same targeting, we can write a story advertorial, or we can write a comparison advertorial, which is specifically our product versus it could be a specific competitor. That would be more middle of funnel. But if we're doing top funnel, right, this page is telling you were lied to, right? So we could test a story, we could test a reporter angle. It could be coming from the perspective from the mom itself. It could be coming from the child of the mom, noticing the difference. It could be the husband. There's a lot of different kind of advertorials that you can write in general. I'm telling you, there's 10 plus different advertorials that you can write that will perform completely differently from each other, just because the page layout and formatting and kind of story is different. So there's honestly, there's not one specific angle that will work well, universally. It kind of depends, and you just have to test. The only way to know is if you test. But generally, I noticed that doctor performs really well, or something like this, saying you were lied to, with the enemy being these big corporations. We can do a cortisol angle and how this product reduces cortisol levels. When you write your advertorials, you got to make sure that this stuff actually works for what you're saying, at least a little bit. What specifically is the ingredients known for that they can be used for? Right? Like there's like literally unlimited angles with supplements. Sleep and nervous system, muscle function, stress and cortisol. So if it's muscle function, you can probably sell this to like older men and women as well. Stress and cortisol. What is the mechanism in the current advertorial? Okay, it's not because magnesium doesn't work. You took the wrong form. The oxide never reaches your cells by glycinate, which is another ingredient I'm assuming, actually gets in, which is why you're still waking up at 3 a.m. Can we write an advertorial explaining cortisol, focusing on a mom's story? Let's say she gets stressed all the time from her kids, and that's relatable, and she later on she finds the supplement, and that stress was keeping her up at night and she didn't know it, and came across this product which was the solution. So when you're coming up with the kind of story and general formatting of your advertorial, you got to think like, make it very easy to understand, simple. Like you just need the initial problem and then the solution. You could go with alternatives, go over skepticism, especially if your market is sophisticated. Let's copy the current winning advertorial format that I pasted earlier, and study it really well, and the tonality as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and research moms and stress. Moms, stress, kids, sleep. So moms, stress, kids, and sleep. I love Reddit for this. And we're basically going to swipe some stuff here. Can't sleep because of my kids. Reddit. I feel like a bad mom because I can't sleep in the same bed. Her wakes up always send me to my brand new mom with newborn anxiety. So you could literally just straight up copy this and then funnel this to Claude. Before we write, I want you to do research on who specifically, targeting, awareness level, etc. This is our research we take with priority. It's a Reddit forum going over mom's experience. Steal words line for line, word for word, that's fine. So our page is very relatable and will hit the right feel. So in general, like when we write advertorials, we get an example that we can kind of structure off of based off maybe tonality or the structure of the general page. We need context about your product. We need research about how we can sell your product to the specific market, plus manual research on that ideally. And then we can start writing the advertorial. Child age 3 to 7 who's never been a good sleeper. She's been likely dealing with broken sleep for years, not months. I didn't even do research on this, and I can tell like if you're a mom, you're gonna have a lot of struggle sleeping, right? Because you have to raise the kid and everything. Sleep is essential to being a good mom, right? And that's how we will sell with emotion for these supplements. Yes, but before we write an advertorial, we need to nail the headline and the opener. So yes, but before we write, let me know your general notes for the layout of the advertorial and specifically the headline and opener we will be using. Let's brainstorm. So basically, the most important piece of your advertorial is going to be like your headline, your opener, and the main image is pretty important as well. So what we want to do is like make sure that this is the most optimized piece in the page, because if you have a really good bottom half of the page but a mid top half of the page, your page won't convert. Like it won't do nearly as well as if it had a really good start of the page and then a mid bottom of the page, if that makes sense. My daughter said something to me that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. She was 5 years old. It was 2 a.m. and she crawled into my bed like she always did. And like always, I got up to the couch. I couldn't help it. Every time she woke up in my heart, my skin would tingle. My whole body would flood with this awful adrenaline that took hours to go away. This one's pretty decent. I like opener 2. And let's think of a headline we can use for it. I spent 4 years. I kind of like these headlines, and then I'm just gonna paste the ones that I like. Wasn't under stress during my sleep. I didn't lose myself to motherhood. I definitely like this emotional side. 4 years blaming my kids, something else entirely. Oh, that's the same one. Real reason, stress mom's neurologist. Explain why can't sleep at night, and the answer surprised me. Let's see. So we're gonna brainstorm a headline that we can run with this opener right here, and then we're gonna generate the page. These pieces, like this headline right here, can perform completely different than this headline right here. Why you can't sleep even what the kids finally do, the cortical loop. I don't really like that one. I spent 4 years. Let's use this headline for inspo again, but applying to our opener. So sometimes it just won't come up with good headlines or like headlines that you will like. So you just got to keep prompting to find something that's actually good. And I know a lot of people for headlines specifically. I mean, of course, like you can have a document with specific headlines that just work, and that'd be great that you can just use for reference. So, I mean, I'd recommend that you have that. 4 years blaming my kids for my sleep problems before a doctor. Let's go with option E. Let's do option E. Is there anything else you need to know? Let's do a functional medicine doctor she saw about exhaustion. Another mom who figured it out first. Let's do that. This is actually very important, by the way, like how the discovery of the product is. And it can be completely different, like depending on your niche. Sometimes like old people just love hearing that there's another person in the story that introduced it to them. So it really depends. Let's do Amanda Torres. Take your time, restudy the original advertorial that was performing well so you know what a winner looks like. Go over every single sentence you write and make sure each sentence has an impact and meaning in the entire page. Restudy the original advertorial that was performing well so you know what a winner looks like. This is just to make sure that it will make it good. Yeah, I think this is take your time, restudy the original advertorial, go over every single sentence you write, make sure each sentence impact and meaning type page. If it doesn't, cut it out. Take your time. So the page was just written and this is what we got. So let's copy this. I like to just put it on a Google Doc so I can see it. And first thing that I like to do is like remove these EM dashes. So what I do is click edit and then find and replace, right? So I just put a space and then I put the EM dash and then replace with the comma. So woman's sleep. I wasted 4 years blaming my kids for my sleep problems before another mom told me the truth about cortisol. And then why stressed moms wake up at 3 a.m. even when the house is finally quiet. And you can put the EM dash here. And the biological loop, my daughter said something to me that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. So when you're writing these pages, okay, this is the kind of opener that you want to have, okay? It doesn't sound salesy and it stirs up emotion and it's interesting as well, okay? So my daughter said something to me that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. Other moms will relate to this instantly. Sorry, I make you leave your bed, mama. Staying in bed was an option. More and more tense, more irritable, until I'd snap at her over nothing. I'd been this way for 4 years. 4 years of lying awake, while my mind replayed everything, every argument, everything I had finished, everything had fallen short that day. 4 years of dragging myself through mornings on 3 coffees, snapping at my kids over spilled cereal, forgetting what I walked into rooms for. So in general, I will say, like, if you're writing to moms are very, very emotional. If you can get them to relate and like not sound so very heavy with the direct response, that's like, you kind of want to find the sweet spot. I tried everything. Okay, and then going through the stuff that she tried. Her name was Diane. I met her at school pickup, and then cortisol. And then she explained it in the parking lot. Here's what nobody tells you. It's a cortisol spike. Your body has one mineral. So this is going through, how it actually works in the mechanism. That foreign oxide your body absorbs about 4% of it. Make sure like when you're looking through your copy, the AI doesn't come up with like random things like, oh, like think of it like a factory, or think of it like, like some like completely random weird like illustration when it explains the mechanism. So you got to look out for that when you're checking over the copy. I'll tell you what happened. Something felt different before I fell asleep. Okay, there's the transformation like each week. Very typical. And then as you can see, testimonials, and then the important, and the path 1, path 2 options, classic. This is on a lot of pages. Sleep is essential to being a good mom. And then your CTA right here. So I like to have 2 CTAs at the end plus a sticky CTA at the bottom, like a bit before like when the product is revealed, like could be middle of the page. But in general, like you can test this page and see how it does. You just want to make sure that your page doesn't sound like salesy in the beginning just to hook them in, but like you don't want to make it so abrupt that people will drop off when they see, oh, this is actually, they're selling a product, right? You need to make sure people that you're targeting see the value in the page and like that it actually ties to their situation. And I see right here like a lot of 3AMs. What you need to do is like just go over it, and like you can like remove some of this stuff. Okay, you can take out sentences and everything. You don't want too much of this, repetitiveness throughout the page. But overall, like you just do some light copy revisions here and you can already run this. And honestly, with advertorials, you don't need to over perfect it. Like an 8 out of 10 advertorials are worth it than trying to go for a 10 out of 10. What you want 10 out of 10 is like the headline and the opener. But you will only know that with experience in your market, just understanding your target and who buys from you and why exactly they buy. And in order to understand that, obviously you need data from your creatives. And that's why if you're writing advertorials, if you have a winning angle and winning creatives, you want to include that as context to write your advertorial. So in general, this is just a quick advertorial that you can come up with and write. This is not that in-depth. Ideally, you find more manual research and give Claude specific sentences that you copy and just put it in it and then tell it, use this for the opener or use this for the headline, just steal this. And basically like the more advertorials you write, the more intuition you kind of get. You can kind of tell an advertorial is good when you see it. And some advertorials are completely, made differently than others. What matters is that you hook them in the correct avatar. Okay, you don't want to hook random people in, especially if you're running like native ads with like really high click-through rates. You need to like qualify your prospects down and sell to them, make it feel like that page was made specifically for them. Okay, you can't make your page generalized. You can't target low cortisol and then target other things as well. Like it might be tempting to make your page like give all the benefits in the advertorial, and that's not the right thing to do. You need to be specific and sell for that specific reason. That's why advertorials are really good. If you put about 10 advertorials with very, very specific ICPs and pain points for each underneath an angle, you will find a winner much better and a market fit for whoever you're targeting. So this is how you can just write advertorials. It's very easy. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And yeah, I mean, you can try this out. It's all you need is a page that you can model off of, your product. Ideally, you find the transcript of your winning ads that you can run the page to, a specific kind of layout and story in mind, or layout for the page. If you're writing an article or you're writing a researcher, just mention that to Claude and just come up with the headline first and the opener, and then you can write your page and edit it after. And yeah, so if you need any help with this, you can just message me on Instagram. It's in the description. And if you're running a brand right now, I write advertorials and I help brands test. So you can book a call with me. It's in the description below. And yeah.